Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 37. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm so glad to see you on my YouTube channel. As always, we're going to have a look at the market, what it did, how it developed, and what are we expecting for the upcoming one. So it was a pretty nice week. Actually, I avoided trading the USDs and and euro overall, because as you know, euro has been going down in a straight line, so as the DXY. But right now I think there is something happening. On Friday we had a little bit of a signal for a reversal, so we might have some fire opportunities for the next week. I focus more on the GBPs, and I'm going to show you what trades I took this week. So if you're new to this channel, it's all about trading, mindset, psychology. A lot of educational videos are about to come, so make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bells in order not to miss all the upcoming content. And if you already did, let's see what the market has for us for the week ahead. As always guys, starting from the DXY, the US dollar currency index, weekly time frame. So let's see what is happening right here. So as you can see, the previous week we had a pretty bullish week, and this one just was a continuation up until Friday, I believe. And what is interesting is that price came very shy to tap this 100 key level. And if I have a look a little bit on the left where we had this gap and the gap filled, if I align my crosshair with the high of this wick right here, just have a look at how perfectly price tapped this liquidity spot and reversed to the downside. And if I just plot my weekly level right here, you will see how price pierced through it and closed below. Lower boundaries is right here at 96.35, potentially where price is consolidating in between. As I told you from the video, price is always ranging between two key levels, and when it breaks out, it will start to consolidate between other two levels. So that is from the weekly. And if I have a look on the daily, so I was saying to my team, wait for that bearish candle, in order for the market to tell you that there are sellers right here. So then this day on Thursday, we had a bullish engulf above. So many of the people went long actually when this broke. And then on Friday we had some news probably. I believe we had quite a lot of news on Friday that gave us some volatility, especially on euro as well. And then what we have, boom, bearish engulf on the daily time frame, engulfing the last 2 days of price action. Translating this to the 4-hourly time frame, we are finally seeing break of structure. Up until now, if you pay attention, you will see, let me grab this, you will see higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. But right now, this has broken the last 2 higher lows. So this is finally the bears telling us, okay, we are here. So I am pretty interested for next week, because we should have a little bit of a pullback, maybe a final retest of that weekly area, a retest of the trend line, potential double top. We have quite a lot of setups that may be pending for next week, but I would love to see the DXY start pushing to the downside. It will be either a reversal or just a daily pullback, which can be a lot of pips to the downside. So let's see if Euro USD corresponds to this, and for the DXY I will just wait for a little pullback back at the weekly area or back at this double top to give me the sell signal, and that's when I will start shorting the dollar. Euro USD weekly time frame, we have something pretty interesting here as well. The key level is 1.08. so if I translate this to the left right here, have a look at this gap guys. So this price gapped up here, failed to fill the gap, and continued the massive uptrend. And what you can see right here, price tapped to the pip to fill this gap, which is extremely interesting. And the key level as well, 1.08, is massive. So weekly time frame, I really want to see this push back. So we have quite a few levels. The one will be right here. I think actually even from the daily time frame, price may tap into 1.10. This may be a key area that will kind of magnetize price action, because as you can see right here, how 1010 has acted as a pretty strong area support even here, and then we broke and we didn't come back for a retest. So 1.10 will be a potential target for the upside of euro. And as we can see here, the price, the last daily candle, the bullish engulfed 3 days of price action. Not even 3, we have 5. We have 5 days actually with those 2 little candles. So very strong candle formation. what I told the community as well, price was consolidating, so we didn't have a clear direction. With this wick, I knew that the gap was filled and that price is about to go up, but I just didn't want to enter because we never know what is going to happen on news. But right now, as we had a massive explosion to the upside, I think we're finally ready to push to the upside. So what can we do on this occasion? We can just drop a very simple fib. And the last structural point, well, we have a lot of wicks right here, so I would target the 61.8% personally. How I think this price action will develop is right now we're having the push. Maybe on Asia, we will have some pullback for a double top. And then on London, price will move very strongly to the downside to grab the liquidity from this area. And then potentially price is going to push up to create a little lower high or a double top, a double bottom, sorry. And then potentially start to push up. So be careful on Monday because there will be some manipulation. A lot of people will be going long right now after this bearish engulf. So we will for sure have some manipulation to the downside to kind of trick people into taking shorts. Overall, I am buy bias on the euro and I will be waiting for this kind of setup. Pull back into the structural points here, 61.8% rejection, a little bit of a selling, buying pressure that I want to see, and then potentially I will be taking longs with longer term targets 1.10. Let's see if that happens. Euro JPY weekly time frame. Let's see what do we have on this pair. So we had kind of a bullish structure. Price attempted to break this kind of structural weekly area. You see the bearish candle piercing through, closing below, inducing all the people to go short. And this week actually we engulfed 3 weeks of price action, which is massive. Targets 123 will be the area that I will be targeting, key level, and this is where the weekly is respected. So translating this to the daily time frame, look at that, how price pushes down to create a lower low, and then we usually wait for a lower high. That's why we don't trade breakouts, and that's why we don't sell low. And as you can see, price action pulled back all the way up here. So what worries me is that price action is currently sitting at this kind of lower high. So this can be a potential equal lower high in order for the market to continue push to the downside. But we have a few scenarios. We might have a daily inverse head and shoulders. As you can see, left shoulder, head, right shoulder back into 120. 120 and maybe 20 pips below, 20, 30 pips below, there is a big area right here. And if I draw it like this, you will perfectly see it, but I have to remove this in order to keep the confusion off. We can have a Fibonacci area which should align as well with this point. 50% is exactly here, and translating this to the 4 hourly, so a very similar setup as is with Euro USD. We already had the double top here, so you see the last few hours were pretty bullish and then ending bearish. So I will not short this market. I will wait for the price to pull me back into my area of interest, which is right here. To tell me that there are bias, rejection, some bullish pressure maybe, and then I will start looking for my higher lows and higher highs. Long-term targets, as I told you, 123. So let's see if this plays out. Even the 4 hourly looks pretty good for an inverse head and shoulders. If we have a pullback right here and rejection, so I will be going long for sure in accordance with Euro USD. Aussie USD weekly time frame. So I haven't touched the Aussies for a very long time, and just because they were staying at a very crucial weekly lows right here. And if I have a look on the left, the last time price was here was at 2009, which is ridiculous, and I am not going back that much back in time to find support and resistance levels. So price actually closed below the low, this low right here on September 2019. So yeah, pretty strong bearish close. Translating this to the daily time frame, we just had a lower low after this little descending structure here, this little lower high after the double bottom, liquidity grab here, rejection, and just the price then this week started to fall to the downside. Beautiful structure on the 4 hourly as well. As you can see, price pulled back here, rejection, short opportunity, another liquidity grab into the highs, a little bit of a consolidation right here. Then we had the breakout, we had a beautiful retest here, one rejection, 1, 2, 3 formation, evening star, and then the price just continued to roll to the downside. So this looks extremely bearish to me. I will not say that I will be making it positively correlated to EU, because it's not. It's true that we had a bullish push right here, but the structure is extremely bearish. So until it it remains like this, I will keep looking for shorts. What I want to see is price to pull back to retest that weekly area in and around here, the 61.8%. If it comes back here, then we can look for potential shorts. But as always, I always tell you guys to follow the flow, because we might have a pullback, then we might have a little push, failing to create a lower low, which means we have a push, we have a pullback for a higher low, and then the market may decide to reverse, because we are currently sitting at a very strong weekly low. So this might be a fake out, as we saw with which was it, EJ, and then the market may continue to push up. So for now, the setup is pretty simple. Let's wait for that pullback to occur here. We might have a little bit of a pullback on London open maybe, and then price may push to the upside to tap that 61.8%, to tap the weekly key area, and then maybe reverse to the downside to continue its bearish pressure. Simple analysis on AU, but I will be extremely cautious with it. Aussie JPY has been extremely messy, and I will tell you why, because we have an extremely bullish USD JPY and bearish Aussie USD. So I was pretty short biased the previous week because we had one rejection, two weekly rejections throwing wicks right here, and right now we have even a third. But as we saw, Aussie USD is extremely down, but however USD JPY did something ridiculous and just pushed to the upside like mad, which caused all the Japanese yen pairs to still push to the upside, no matter that, for example, NZD USD is down and Aussie USD is down, but their JPY pairs did not push down. So very simple analysis right here from the weekly time frame, giving us the higher time frame picture. I am still sell biased because I can see that the price is failing to break. Oops, what did I do? Sorry, it's failing to break this weekly region right here. 74, maybe 500 we can say, because that is where price tapped to the, just a few pips shy maybe. And if I translate this to the daily, we saw a consolidation this week. So this was a pretty beautiful opportunity right here with this evening star formation. Price failed to make a new lower low, pushed up to gather liquidity, tried to push down, again failed. And then we had the bullish engulf into the structure, again failing and throwing wicks to the downside. So we have a pretty strong daily areas right here. Maybe I can just tap a quick line and then translate this information to the 4 hourly. And as you can see, guys, what do we have here? A clear consolidation. So very tricky market. That is why I am avoiding it for now. What I want to see is either a clear break to the upside and a retest, price coming into the highs right here, maybe to grab more orders. And if it really rejects, if it shows me rejections, bearish pressure, and then lower highs, I may take a short opportunity back at the support. But by not any means, I am not taking any longer term trades on this one, and I will be extremely cautious with it because Aussie USD is down while USD JPY is pushing to the upside. So the Japanese yen, Aussie JPY, Euro JPY, and NZD JPY will be a little bit tricky to trade. So let's see what happens with this one. Clear consolidation. If you ask me, I would wait for a clear break and retest of this whole range. NZD USD weekly time frame, let's see what we've got here. So we have an overall bearish trend, and as you can see, the price has been bearish for quite some time. Not a single bullish candle except from the previous week, which was actually pretty bearish because it just threw a wick to the upside. And this week we had a little gap up and a strong bearish engulf to the downside, ending the week with a little bit of buying pressure. So price is entering into this very sensitive area here of support. If I tap the low here, we see 0.62. Key area in this market we have above 62,500 and maybe 63. That price has reacted to exactly just 1 pip. So if I translate this to the daily time frame and I just tap a little line right here to take notice of the 63 key level, we just had a lower low, extremely bearish price action. Lower high, lower low, sorry, lower high, lower low. We should be waiting for a lower high right now. I will not plot the daily fib, although you can do it to play just between the levels and to try to find the best retracement area possible. Translating this to the 4 hourly time frame, look at that. So we ended the week similar to EU, but overall the price action is extremely bearish. So I will just mark the last few major lower highs. Like this is a pretty good area right here, around 64. So if I am to include even 64, I think that price may be magnetized towards this area. And if I try to grab the fib, I don't think this is a nice fib. Yeah, it's actually 50%, which is not bad, but price may even push further up. what I do expect on this market, on market open, is to push a little bit to the downside to induce some sellers and then possibly to push us into this area. So knowing what the time frame, the higher time frame is about, I am short biased still on this one, but I do not exclude the possibility of the market reversing on me just because the DXY might start push to the downside and Euro USD might start pushing up, and which may cause all the pairs to react to that as well. So simple analysis on NZD USD, downtrend for now, major lower high. Let's see how price pulls back into here, rejection, and then we can potentially look for shorts. NJ weekly time frame, absolutely the same price action as AJ. Actually, we have two wicks here piercing through, and actually if I have a careful look, they're retesting the previous weekly area. As you can see here, tap, push to the upside, break, first retest, second retest, and even a third retest this week, just a few pips shy. And what is interesting here, guys, just look at that. If I just draw a simple box right here catching all of those candles, and if I translate this information to the 4-hourly, yeah, this speaks itself. It's a very clear consolidation, price jumping from the roof to the bottom. So what I want on this market is a real break and retest possibly. I don't like to trade consolidations because there are a lot of fake outs and a lot of manipulation. So you see price is actually in the middle of nowhere right now. So regarding NJ, I would just wait for more price action to develop to let me know where the market is headed, because currently we're exactly in the middle of this range, which is not nice. We would either wait for the price to reach the major top or the major bottom and then look for opportunities. So yeah, NJ pretty unclear, so let's wait for more price action on it. USD CAD weekly time frame. So this pair didn't move too much, but it provided me with some pretty nice opportunities this week. So still, guys, we're staying at this weekly area right here with all of those wicks here failing to break. We had 3 weeks of bullish price action straight into this area, and then the previous week tapped the area and formed a bearish engulf. And this week we had on the weekly time frame a little pullback into this zone, and then it closed bearish. So I really think this should start to roll to the downside. Having a look at the daily, we had quite a lot of consolidation, and actually there was a beautiful opportunity on Friday, but I did not take it because it was a news release, and we never know what happens on news releases. So what it was just a beautiful structure. So I got a trade from the bottom here, and then I wanted to get at the top on Friday, but I just didn't. So it was pretty simple. This was the last lower high. This is where the wick started, I believe. Nope. Yeah, we started here. We had a push here to the upside, 1, 2, 3 formation. There was a beautiful short around here. Price creating a lower low, pushing up, liquidity grab to the downside on New York. Straight into this area, consolidation, wick, aligning for the news. And if I see the 15 minutes, look how price was respecting it. And we had numerous entries into this one. And then on the news, price just melted to the downside, but I did not take it. What I did take was this manipulation to the downside. So have a look at this one. Price was overextended, and I was looking for shorts because, yeah, it was pretty overextended. But then on New York, price started to push straight to the downside, and where it tapped this spot right here. And if I have a look on the 15 minute or the 30 minute, push, pull back, this was actually where price reversed when it created the ABC. So this forms into a pretty strong area. And what price action did is just push this price to the downside to grab the liquidity. Look how price reacted, push, wick through, spike above, retest, boom. So even on the 15 minute, we have a push to the upside and a retest back, which was a beautiful opportunity just for a few minutes. Then the next one was at the top, but as I told you, I didn't take it. So let's focus on the structure right now. I am pretty short bias on USD CAD, as we just created this lower high. Price printed a massive bearish candle, which is news inflicted. So I believe this market will give us a little bit of a pullback. As you can see, the hourly, we had a beautiful consolidation here, massive push, and price is currently pulling back. So we had quite a few areas that the market may pull back. This is the first where I took the long, and maybe the second will be the bottom of the consolidation. If I drop a fib, let's take the high. Oops, that's not a fib. Let's take the high to the low. 61.8% aligns with this kind of area. So let's see where the market will take us. But overall, I am sell bias on the UCAD. And if the DXY starts to push to the downside as well, I think that there will be a lot of confluences in order to short UCAD for next week. So let's see what will happen. USD Swiss franc has been quite messy for some time, but on Friday we finally had some movement, and as you can see, price just formed that potential lower high, a retest of this weekly area. As you can see, bullish candle into the structure, bullish candle, a bearish, then bullish, and then a little bit of an uptrend, quite messy, massive sell-off. Then we had again bullish into structure, rejection this week. So translating this to the daily, look at that. So I was waiting, it was exactly like EU, just pushing up without breaking any structure. But on Friday, we had this beautiful bearish engulfing actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of price action, which is massive. So areas, guys, areas, I think price will tap first into this kind of structure right here. This is a daily area. Maybe there is one right here. Oh, not this one. Horizontal ray like this. So those are two structures that I will be looking at. 97,500 is a major one, and if we translate this to the 4-hourly time frame, we see push pullback. So this is a higher low, another push pullback, a weaker one, and that's when the price started to trend up. Right now we just had the broken structure. Yeah, just throw a quick trend line right here and massive sell-off. After a sell-off, I would love to see a pullback. We can have a potential head and shoulders in and around this area. And if I just quickly draw a little Fibonacci, we can see 61.8% will be more than enough for me. Even 78.6 in between this zone. If price comes back, I will be for sure jumping into shorts if the pair is still looking good. But yeah, we just had a broken structure. We have some key areas that price may reach. There is one more to the downside at 90, yeah, around 97, which is a key area in this market. And yeah, 27 extension kind of aligns right here with this whole zone of higher low. So let's see. For now, I just want to see the price action pull back into the 61.8% and then roll to the downside with all those targets that we just found. USD/JPY did something massive this week actually, and as you can see, the weekly candle, it is pretty strong, but finding resistance here from this weekly structural area and in confluence with 112, which is a pretty key area in this market. As you can see here, it's respected all over the place. So yeah, I personally think that we will have a pullback right now, maybe into 110. So this is roughly around 150 pips from where we are now. And translating this to the daily time frame, we just had a massive push to the upside, but price was reacting from this area. And we can see here this structural point, this tap and this tap. This is an area that the price may return back to test. And having a look at the 4-hourly, you can see after this consolidation that has been going on for quite some time, we just had a breakout and a massive explosion to the upside. So technically, I think there should be some sort of a retracement. However, it is already happening. If I have a look at the line chart, this is our last structural point. So the market may tap this point and reverse, maybe create a higher high, or maybe come back for a double top and then start to push down to tap this 110 key area. But for now, we had a massive impulsive move to the upside. Price wick, starting to reject, another wick into the weekly area 112, and then some bearishness. So yeah, it's kind of confusing to say what is going to happen. I will monitor how this area holds right here, and if it doesn't hold, if it breaks and retests, I will for sure take a short back into this weekly key area and maybe then have a look for some longs. Maybe this can be some sort of a manipulation to the upside, maybe to tap 112 and then reverse to the downside. So we never know. But if price action comes straight into the highs right here and starts to reject, then I will be for sure waiting for shorts, because this is due to a pullback. So it got pretty messy, but we have quite a few scenarios here. So as I always tell you, make sure to go with the flow of the market. Pull back, higher low, maybe a long position, or pull back into the highs, double top, maybe a short position. So let's see what happens on Monday. Let's have a look at the GBPs. So weekly time frame on GU is a little bit tricky. What I can see and what I want to point out is 28,500 that got respected this week. As you can see, bearish candle, bullish, then the price taps into this area and rejects. Still a bearish candle. However, we are seeing some bullish pressure. And as we can see on the daily time frame, we had this lower low, pullback for the lower high, beautiful sell opportunity in and around these areas right here at 3,500 as well. Let me just mark 3,500 because you can see how price reacted. Not this one. Beautiful reaction right here. And right now we're having some sort of a 1, 2, 3 formation. So the opportunity I took was from the downside right here. So if I go to the hourly time frame or even the 15-minute, I will be able to recognize. Yep, so it was right here where I took a long position because I was seeing that the market was respecting this area right here. So we had a spike to the downside on London Open, push to the upside, and then later in the day price again spiked to the downside. And if you have a look at the 5-minute as well, I saw a few rejections right here, and I was expecting price to pull me back into 29,500. Let me just find it quickly. Where is it? Yes, so I was waiting for price to pull me back into this area right here, which is 29,500. So I said, okay, if I know price is starting to slow down and I think price will pull back into this area to create a lower high and then continue to the downside. And I had a pretty nice trade actually because the stop loss was pretty tight, something like this. It was roughly around 10 pips or something. So I had this nice move of 3R, and then the market just reversed on me. So we got stopped at break even. And yeah, then the market continued to roll to the downside, tapped this key area at 28,500 and then reversed. So pretty bullish price action right now, and it's kind of confusing to say what is going to happen. We had a breakout here, but it seems like it's trying to break back below. So I would really love to see how Monday is going to open and then potentially have a look for potential setups, because the bullish pressure is far too much right now. And maybe this could be a lower high as well. Maybe if I drop a Fibonacci level, you can see there is a perfect 61.8%. So what I want to see is price react from this area, then come back for a double top maybe on the hourly, and then take my short trade, because overall the trend is down. As you can see, the daily, we broke below this ascending structure here, break, lower high, lower low, almost pull back, maybe a liquidity grab right here, and then I will potentially look for 28 to be fulfilled, which perfectly aligns with 27% extension. So overall short bias on GU, but I will be extremely cautious with it. GJ, a pretty nice opportunity down here as well, very similar to USD CAD. But what do we have on the weekly? So weekly is pretty bullish. We just had this pullback and the push to the upside. If I just drop the weekly key area right here at 144,600, we can see that the market failed to close above and actually rejected right here. So translating this information on the daily, we can clearly see where is the major daily supply zone right here. And price is actually wicking through it right now, creating indecision. What is the face of this market? It actually just pushed to create a higher high. What can we deduct from this is that we should wait for some sort of a downside. Where the downside may occur? Well, we have a pretty nice area right here that was just retested with a wick. If I switch to the line chart, just quickly, we have quite a few higher lows right here. Maybe this one right here where the wick was thrown. Yeah, the week ends bearish. So again, confusing price action, looks pretty bullish, and this is why this is because we have USD JPY extremely bullish as well. But overall, a slightly confusing market even on the lower time frame. So what I want to see is for the price to pull me back to create another higher low and maybe then continue to the upside. But if the GBP is about to become weak, then we might have some break and retests of those structures, or just price pulling back to the downside but failing to make a new higher high, creating a new double top or a lower high, and then potentially back to all of those key areas in the market. One is just right here. So let's see what will happen with GJ. Slightly indecisive for now. GA, nice push to the upside. So after quite some time of consolidation, the weekly is not very clear. We had bullish candle here and then immediately followed by a bearish one. And as you can see how actually the weeks are creating higher lows. Pretty interesting to see. Daily time frame as well. Prices still to the upside. The last daily candle was a little bit of a rejection. Hard to find key areas except from the top, which is right here. So if I go back to my main time frame, the 4-hourly, what we had was jumping from one consolidation into another consolidation. We had a fake out here, as you can see very beautifully. You see price bearish candle here, fake out, bullish engulf, again slowdown, and then the market push to the upside. So pretty simple actually. It looks pretty bullish. And as you can see, the 27% extension perfectly aligns with the high we just drew from the daily time frame. So if this pulls me back into 61.8% in and around this area, it is pretty hard to find areas for a retest. So I will just be waiting for a higher low to form. and then I will be looking for the price to push me back up into the 27 extension and the daily highs, where we might start taking shorts. Where is my euro yen? Euro GBP, sorry. Let me just quickly open it like this. I have some analysis on it as well. Weekly time frame, we had this bearish candle into the weekly structure, but as you can see, price is failing to close below. We had a push to the downside, and the week actually closes bullish with a wick on top, looking like it's retesting this last structural area. Translating this to the daily, we see beautiful price action actually, and just drawing a quick fib maybe from here, we can see a beautiful zone here of 61.8 and 50%. So we know that this is for real an area of interest, even on the daily. Beautiful action is happening right here. I want to see a final push, a final manipulation above to take out all the people that have their stop losses above here. If we tap here and then we have immediately rejecting or a bearish candle, then I will for sure be looking for shorts. Or just a simple double tap to find liquidity right here, because we see the market pushed into this area with a pretty bullish candle. Immediately the sellers came in, pushed to the downside, but the volume is too low right now to start pushing down, so price has to pull back in order to gather the liquidity, and then will potentially throw us back down to that weekly area, or not to say that we may be about to create a new lower low. So that's on the GBPs, guys. Let's see what will happen. CAD-yen weekly time frame, actually quite the same as USD JPY. So we had this beautiful pullback, and as you can see, if you pay attention, price did not break below the last weekly higher low, which gave us a beautiful bias from down here to take long positions. Right now price is kind of approaching here 84,500, which is a key major weekly area, and as you can see, we had reaction on Friday and even on Thursday. Massive push to the upside. Have a look how the market reacted from this weekly area. 1, 2, 3, bullish engulf. You can even take a swing trade like this. I got asked for a video for swing trading. Well, that's how you can swing trade. However, you should go for 1 to 2 maybe. Massive bullish pressure right here after some consolidation. As I told you, pretty similar to USD JPY. Massive push to the upside. Price is starting to wick to consolidate right here. If I'm just to mark a key area on this market, it will be this one where price pushed, pullback, push, rejection, rejection. So if I have a break and if I have a quick retest here, just a wick to the upside, then I will be going down, maybe to this kind of area right here, which is too low because we might have a Fibonacci area. Something like this. This is a 78.6, which is actually good, but we can see if we can tap 61.8% as well. But overall, I really want to see a pullback on CAD-yen because the daily has been extremely overextended right here. It is approaching a weekly resistance, so it will be nice to have a little pullback, higher low, and then to continue to the upside to fulfill 85,500 and 27% extension. Goldie weekly time frame. So we finally broke this weekly key area right here, and if I have a look on the left, price action hasn't been here since 2013. Yeah, 2013 March. So we are entering right now into a very high kind of area, and this is because there is a lot of uncertainty as well, and we're seeing the DXY pushing strongly up with gold. Usually they're oppositely correlated, but right now people are putting their money into the dollar and with gold as well. And that's why we're having a similar reaction. So extremely bullish week. Since the start, we just had bullish candle to the upside and we didn't have any clear higher lows. So it was just about trend continuation, maybe with EMAs and just slight pullbacks. So how am I going to analyze this market? Well, the structure is not clear at all. So I will just wait for some sort of a pullback, maybe quick pullback in order to judge for a higher low, but it is extremely overextended and I would love to see just a slight pullback and then potentially upside. But I'm not going back to 2013 to find support and resistance levels. That is why I will be focusing on just fresh structure. And just having a look at on US30 because we had some pretty nice trades on this one as well with the community as I'm analyzing it there as well. So what we had here was this high, that was manipulation. Then the market pushed to the downside and we were having this ascending structure right here. So I told my guys, wait for that, for the rejections and wait for the bearish pressure. Here is the bearish pressure. We had the breakout. we had a beautiful retest with a wick back at this trend line, bearish engulf, pullback, which was a beautiful, there were beautiful opportunities on the hourly. You see push, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback again, and then downside. So while we can wait from the previous week, I think we've achieved our targets, which were right here. Price just tapped into them. So I believe that this will pull us back a little bit, maybe to create a lower high, but I'm pretty cautious with US 30 because overall it is moving up and the dips it does are not that big. So this may be a dip back into this area in order for the market then to continue and to make new highs. So we never know what is going to happen with this one. It is pretty short term. That is why I don't like trading it, but we had some pretty nice setups for this one as well. So that is how I'm going to wrap up this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it and found something valuable from it. Always remember to go with the flow of the market. No matter what I say right now on Saturday, something different may happen on Monday, and I just want you to follow the thought process I am putting in behind my analysis so you can do it on yourself. If you're interested in learning really how to do it, make sure to let me know, because I have a masterclass member zone. I do teach one-on-one as well, so I would love to work with some of you as well. So thank you for staying up until now. I totally appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you on my next video.